Sways, what's in a name? That which we call a rose. By any other word would smell as sweet. Shakespeare might have thought so. But names are powerful. They shape our identities and destinies. Think about it. Have you ever made an assumption based on a name? It's unconscious, but we all do it. Names influence our lives in surprising ways. From the moment we're born, our names become an intrinsic part of our identity. They are our labels, yes, but they are also much more than that. Think about your own name. What does it mean to you? Where did it come from? Does it have a special significance in your family or culture? Our names are more than just random combinations of letters. They carry the weight of our ancestors, the hopes of our parents, and the potential of our own futures. Over the next few minutes, we'll unravel the mysteries of nomenclature and explore the profound impact it has on our lives. Get ready to see your name in a whole new light. Throughout history, different cultures have viewed names through unique lenses. In ancient Egypt, names held immense power, believed to influence a person's fate in the afterlife. Contrast this with ancient Rome, where family names or nomen connected individuals to lineage and social standing. These examples highlight the diverse ways cultures have perceived and utilized names. From spiritual beliefs to social structures, names have played a pivotal role in shaping individual and collective identities across time and geography. The exploration of these diverse traditions reveals the universality of names as more than mere labels. They are threads woven into the fabric of human history, reflecting our beliefs, values, and social structures. History is replete with examples of individuals who changed their names to alter their destinies. Think of political figures adopting pseudonyms to inspire revolution, or artists choosing stage names to captivate audiences. These transformations weren't just about aesthetics. They were deliberate acts of reinvention, harnessing the power of a name to reshape public perception and influence outcomes. Beyond individual choices, rulers throughout history understood the influence of names. They bestowed titles, bestowed honors, or stripped individuals of their names as a means of control. A name could elevate someone to a position of power or cast them down in disgrace. They are not passive labels, but active forces capable of shaping destinies and influencing the course of history. The evolution of names over time mirrors societal shifts and cultural exchanges. The introduction of surnames in medieval Europe, for instance, reflected the growing need for identification in increasingly complex societies. Similarly, waves of immigration and cultural fusion have left their mark on naming practices. Today, in our globalized world, names continue to evolve at an unprecedented pace. Parents draw inspiration from a vast reservoir of cultures, languages, and personal beliefs when naming their children. They are not static labels, but fluid markers of identity, reflecting the ever-changing tapestry of human history, culture, and individual expression. We may deny it, but we all make snap judgments based on names. It's an unconscious bias we develop over a lifetime of associating names with certain traits. Studies have shown that job applicants with more common names are more likely to get called for interviews. Why? Because we unconsciously associate those names with familiarity, trustworthiness, and competence. It's not fair, but it's a reality. This bias extends beyond employment. We gravitate towards people with names that sound familiar or appealing to us. This isn't to say that having a certain name guarantees success or failure, but it does highlight the subtle ways in which our names can influence how others perceive us, often without us even realizing it. From a young age, our names become intertwined with our sense of self. We internalize the expectations and associations that come with our names, for better or for worse. This can lead to something called a self-fulfilling prophecy. Imagine a child named Hunter. From the moment he's born, he's showered with toy animals, camouflage clothing, and expectations of being adventurous and outdoorsy. Over time, he internalizes these expectations and begins to see himself as Hunter the Adventurer. This isn't to say that his name alone determines his interests, but it does create a framework through which he sees himself and the world. These early experiences shape our self-perceptions and can influence our choices later in life. The sounds that make up our names also play a role in how we're perceived. Research suggests that names with hard consonants, like Clark or Catherine, convey a sense of strength and competence. In contrast, names with softer sounds, like Liam or Sophia, are often associated with warmth, kindness, and approachability. These subtle phonetic cues influence our impressions, even if we're not consciously aware of them. The cultural tapestry of names is vast and varied, reflecting a rich history of traditions, beliefs, and social structures. In many Eastern cultures, for example, names often carry deep spiritual meanings, connecting individuals to ancestral lineages or embodying aspirations for their future. In contrast, Western cultures often place greater emphasis on individuality and personal expression in naming practices. Parents might choose names that reflect family history, honor admired figures, or simply appeal to their personal taste. These cultural nuances extend beyond the names themselves. The way names are used, addressed, and perceived also varies widely. Understanding these cultural differences is crucial in our increasingly interconnected world. While names offer a glimpse into cultural heritage, they can also carry the weight of societal expectations and stereotypes. Certain names might be associated with specific ethnicities, religions, or social groups, leading to unconscious biases and prejudgments. For individuals from marginalized communities, these stereotypes can create barriers to opportunity and acceptance. They might encounter discrimination in housing, employment, or even social interactions based solely on the perceived cultural connotations of their names. By acknowledging and confronting these biases, we create a more inclusive and equitable society. In our increasingly globalized world, the relationship between names and identity becomes even more complex. Individuals from diverse backgrounds might grapple with reconciling their cultural heritage with their sense of belonging in a new society. Some might choose to adopt names that are more common in their adopted country, seeking to assimilate or avoid potential discrimination. Others might hold on to their given names as a way of preserving their cultural identity and honoring their roots. It's about finding a balance that honors one's heritage while navigating the complexities of a multicultural world. By embracing the diversity of names and the stories they tell, we foster a richer, more understanding, and more inclusive world. Researchers have long been fascinated by the impact of names on life outcomes. One study focused on how people perceived identical resumes with one key variation, the applicant's name. Resumes with white-sounding names, like John, received more callbacks compared to those with minority names, like Juan. This highlights the pervasive nature of unconscious bias. The resumes were identical in every other aspect: qualifications, experience, skills. The only difference was the name, revealing the power of implicit biases. The story of James Meredith, the first African American student admitted to the University of Mississippi in 1962, offers a poignant example of how names can become entangled with societal prejudices and shape an individual's experiences. Meredith's enrollment sparked violent riots and intense resistance from those who opposed integration. Despite enduring relentless hostility and threats to his safety, Meredith persevered, graduating with a degree in political science. His courage and determination paved the way for countless other African American students to pursue higher education, breaking down barriers and challenging deeply ingrained prejudices. His name, once a target of hatred, became a symbol of resilience, progress, and the ongoing fight for equality. The act of choosing a new name can be a powerful expression of self-determination and a way to reclaim one's identity. This is especially true for individuals who have undergone significant life transitions, such as transitioning genders, escaping abusive relationships, or starting new chapters in their lives. For transgender individuals, choosing a name that aligns with their gender identity is often a crucial step in their transition. Similarly, survivors of domestic violence might choose to shed the names that were tied to trauma and abuse, reclaiming their identities and embracing a future free from fear. The act of choosing a new name becomes a powerful symbol of healing, resilience, and the ability to define oneself on one's own terms. Names shape perceptions and reflect cultural heritage. You have power over your name, even if you didn't choose it. Own the narrative associated with your name. Explore its meaning and origins. Uncover the stories and cultural nuances. Deepen your connection to your name. Embrace it as a source of pride. Ultimately, your name is just one element of your multifaceted identity. It's a label, yes, but it doesn't define the totality of who you are, your character, your passions, your dreams. Don't let societal expectations or unconscious biases limit your potential. Focus on developing your inner qualities, cultivating your talents, pursuing your passions. These are the things that truly shape your destiny, not the letters that form your name. Let your actions, your kindness, your creativity speak louder than any preconceived notions associated with your name. Embrace the power of your own narrative, the story you choose to tell with your life, the legacy you leave behind. Go out and make your mark on the world, name and all. As we've journeyed through the fascinating world of names, we've uncovered their profound influence on our lives, from shaping first impressions to reflecting cultural heritage. Names are threads woven into our identities. They can sway our perceptions, creating advantages or disadvantages? Names embody cultural expectations, carrying history and tradition, offering opportunities for reinvention. While names shape our experiences, they don't define our destinies. Embrace the power of names and let them inspire you. What do you think? Feel free to share your own experiences related to your names in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more enlightening videos.